What's good? It's Woog. You often hear comparisons between artists of different eras, which is always a challenge, especially with black artists, if the criteria you're using to measure greatness includes mainstream success in record sales. You run into these issues when comparing Neo, for instance, with Al Green, or Big Daddy Kane with Ludacris. Black and white cultures weren't as integrated in earlier eras as they are today, so your exposure to music was much more racially limited. And white culture is pop culture. Just look at the word, pop. Popular, population. Elvis's music was just going to reach a much larger audience in the 1950s than Chuck Berry will, because you had white and colored stations, white and colored venues, and so forth. But over time, black music became more mainstream, first with R&B, and later with hip-hop and everything since. But before that, James Brown was never reaching #1 with a song or an album. Brown had 16 #1 singles on the R&B songs chart, but 0 #1s on the main songs chart. Then, after vanishing from the main songs chart completely in 1976, he re-emerged 9 years later, in 1985, with the crossover pop hit Living in America, which still never hit #1 on the main songs chart. So what was hugely popular in the black community was making less of an impact in the mainstream. The Temptations had 14 #1 albums on the R&B albums chart, but never hit #1 with an album on the main albums chart. Now compare that to the 1990s. Montel Jordan and the group Next both had #1 songs on the main chart, and even Soul For Real had a #2, but no one would argue that Montel Jordan, Next, and Soul For Real made a bigger impact on music than James Brown or the Temptations did. They just recorded at a time when black artists had a higher chance of having mainstream commercial success. And rap music didn't become mainstream until even later. Dr. Dre didn't score a #1 album with The Chronic in 1992, nor with The Chronic 2001 in 1999. Fast forward about 20 years to today, and much of rap music is also mainstream music. Ray Shremmerd already has a #1 single. Future has 4 #1 albums. We'll exclude the 5th, the collab album with Drake that also hit #1. And Migos has both a #1 single and a #1 album on the main charts. Guys, Run DMC and LL Cool J never had a #1 single. LL Cool J's been featured on one with Jennifer Lopez, but never one of his own. Jay-Z has only one #1 single, and that didn't come until a song from off his 11th album, 14 years into his career, with Empire State of Mind featuring Alicia Keys. Simply put, you have to factor in black music's proximity to the mainstream when comparing or discussing music of different eras. So let me know your thoughts. I'm Woog. Thanks for tuning in.